We are live. Bear with us. Got some music on the radio station playing. And I have just been alerted the Angry American show is starting. How did that work out?
Guess that worked out pretty good.
All right, guys. YouTube crowd, hang on just a second. Hear those commercials in the background. That's what keeps us going. You know the real, you know the deal. You got to pay the bill, baby. Here's how many folks are out there listening on the app already. Of course, they're listening on the app. They're probably not hearing me on the YouTube channel. You think?
They're listening on the app. They ain't hearing.
They're gonna hear us in about 3 more minutes. Make that 2 minutes. Actually, make that about 29 seconds. It's a countdown. Final countdown. Oh, I just got somebody that said they're listening out there. Miss Amy, what's going on? That's what I need to do is start calling my viewers out, listeners out. Oh, there's our call sign. We're going to change that. I'm going to get Scott. I've been on it for a month and a half. Ready to start talking there, Tenny?
Let's go.
Lock it in. Let's get this party started. All right, boys and girls, welcome out. It's another time, a great time. Angry American Radio. Howie Jack and my co-host Tim Tenny is sitting next beside me. Is that ebonically correct?
Where is next beside you?
You ain't never heard that?
No.
How about a case quarter? You got change for a case quarter?
No, I don't know what a case quarter is.
Really? I thought you must be a damn Yankee.
Nope, neither one.
Darlene probably knows what a case quarter is. Man, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Maybe I should.
You don't know.
Apparently.
I can't turn this change in for a case quarter. Seriously.
Apparently.
2 dimes and a nickel. You don't want to lug around 2 dimes and a nickel. Don't you want a case quarter?
Man.
So you ain't never heard that?
No, I have not.
Man, I feel like a racist.
You act like one sometimes.
That's what I get called a lot. You know, anytime you speak out against anything that's not like Hillary White, you know, they call you a racist.
The bad thing is she's worse than we are.
I know, isn't it funny? See, I posted a video, if anybody saw it earlier on Angry American on what we was going to talk about. I said it was aloof and racist. So I'm going to lead off with a local. Our first segment is going to be local. That's what we're going to go with from now on. Local. Or loco, maybe. Maybe it should be loco. All right,
yeah.
Here's the dealio. Here in McDonough, Georgia, well, actually, we're not in McDonough right now, but where I live in McDonough, Georgia, Walmart, Wally World, you know, our favorite place to not shop.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I used to be for Wally World, you know, an American company. Had a great guy run it, Sam Walton, and he is dead and gone, unfortunately. And,
yeah, you can tell it.
Yeah, you can tell it big time. But here's the deal. A police officer's retiring, so his daughter decided she wanted to go get him a cake baked for his retirement party. Pretty standard, no big deal, right? So her first choice was an American flag with a thin blue line. Pretty common practice, right? Well, the bakers, they said they couldn't do it.
Racist.
Couldn't do it. And so she said, well, why not? She said, well, no, we can't do that. So she said, well, how about just a blue line across the cake? And they said, oh, okay, we can do that. And we want it to say Blue Lives Matter. No, we can't do that. That's racist. And they went through three bakers there at this Walmart, real close to my house, and they wouldn't do it. The manager gets involved. Okay, and I posted the story on Walmart's corporate page, and it was gone like a fart in a whirlwind, man.
Of course.
I mean, zip, zam, boom, gone. But so the manager calls them back and says, I'm sorry you had trouble. That's not the way we operate. Yeah, apparently it is the way you operate. But offered a $50 gift card and would give them a free cake with the Blue Lives Matter. Well, he couldn't get anybody to do it. He does it himself. And it looks like crap. I mean, I'm not a baker. I could have done better. And that's sad. I mean, that's seriously sad. Because, I mean, I can't even write, let alone, you know, put stuff on a cake. But The sadder part about that is, first off, it looked bad. That Walmart should have hired a professional to do the cake for them. Said, look, because they shouldn't have done it in a store, in my opinion, because you figure if they're that hell-bent and determined on not doing it, the chances of something being wrong with a cake, shall we say, is highly probable. So they should have paid for somebody to do it professionally. And, some people commented on the page, well, you must not thought much about your dad if you went to Walmart for a cake. I disagree. I mean, she went for a simple cake. It's not a big deal. So right away, they're trying to flip the script and blame it on her for going to Walmart.
Yeah, we go to Walmart, get cakes all the time. And,
well,
we don't have any
I would have went to Publix.
Oh, you can do that too.
And I'm not trying to promote these businesses, but if I had to do business, since I want to be racist and abonically correct, I'm going to do business. We got any black listeners out there and you feel offended by that, shame on you, because if I talk like a redneck, want to go to Alabama, you ain't got nothing to say about it. So I don't want to hear about it. So anyway, long story short, as I'm making this, they get a $50 gift card and a crappy cake. And then Walmart corporate finally gets an apology to them. Seriously? This dude's retirement party. It was like 25, 27 years. I mean, I didn't pull it up in front of me. But the problem with this is true racism. Okay? Yeah. I mean, bottom line. But here's the thing about it. I have not mentioned anything about the color of the people baking the cake. Okay? But it is racist regardless, is my point.
Without a doubt.
So before everybody starts jumping off the cliff, because I want to get you guys a little twisted thought here, we're going to talk about racism, but we want to talk about how to fix the problem, not how to just keep whipping a dead horse, because it is a dead horse. It's that pinch that just doesn't go away.
And we're talking about whipping.
Whipping. So with that being said, enough on the Walmart thing. They got a screwed up, jacked up cake, but the dad did thank the daughter for going through all the trouble. And the poor girl was she was tore up, man. I hate it for her.
That's just ridiculous.
But let's talk about North Carolina.
Bring it on.
We're actually, before we talk about North Carolina and we're talking about racism, how about we talk about protecting our president protecting what he claims is racism against Muslims? How about the New York, New Jersey bombing? How about the Seattle shooting? His statements on those were, ask the reporters to hold back.
Yeah.
Wait for the investigation to be final. Wait for everything to get in. And he comes out and says this publicly. Okay. He wants to curtail racism, right? Yeah. Isn't that what he wants? And then, boys and girls, we have a shooting in North Carolina and one in Tulsa, or reverse, actually. The Tulsa one was first, which, as I've stated before, she's up on charges, but they also, again, brought charges on her prior to the investigation being finished.
Right.
Okay. But, somebody's got to pay for that because it was a white person shot a black guy. Now, there's a lot of things that I even question on that. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's hard without looking at all the facts to know exactly what's going on there. And I do have some questions about it, but could I judge the shoot right away? No. I've seen the video footage from North Carolina. The initial footage that they showed, I could not judge it because it was crappy footage. Plus, we're looking at it on Facebook and YouTube and all that. We're not seeing the real deal, raw, so to speak, unedited, up close and personal. But then they find a government 380 on the ground. But yet that's not good enough. They say it was planted. And they find the guy's got a leg holster on him. That's not good enough.
That was planted too.
Well, today they released a police report from October 3rd of last year from the wife of the guy that was allegedly reading a book, not holding a gun, which incidentally, if anybody knows, the Colt 380 Pocket Mustang is a single action semi-automatic. And what that means is you have to pull the hammer back in order to fire it. It has a safety on it. Before you can fire the pistol, the safety has to be off. How do you think this particular firearm was found on the ground? Hammer back, safety off. In other words, he was ready to fire the pistol. End of story. But back to what I was saying, the wife filed a complaint last year and said that he himself threatened them that he was a killer. He kicked her around, physically kicked her around, punched the daughter, who at the time, I said I was going to highlight this stuff. Didn't have time to do it. Oh, see, give me a second. Oh, it's in her some. I want to say she was 8, but I could be wrong. God forbid that to be, a media commentating in wrong information. Ah, yes. Punched their 8-year-old in the head 3 times and threatened to kill her with the gun. She had written that in her own handwriting. But yet the other daughter, and the mom, the whole time, what did they say? He didn't have no gun.
Yeah.
Okay. This is facts. So with that being said, not to mention the video footage and everything else, what am I doing? I'm pointing out racism is a false narrative. And I have used that terminology a gazillion times because that's the truth of the matter. It is a false narrative. Okay. The racism in this country is not coming from the white side of the fence and the police as much as it's coming from the black culture. And I hate to use that terminology, but that's really, I don't want to say community because that doesn't encompass enough, because there's more than one community of black people out there. But the flip side of that is you have people that know better, blacks that know that this is not right, but they won't say anything because they don't want to be targeted and they don't want to be labeled. And that's been put out there plenty times. So North Carolina, Charlotte had been tore up. There was a protest, and I think there was a bomb found there today. I didn't get to catch the news. Did you?
I missed that.
I think, and I could be wrong because again, I was multitasking trying to get here. We'll just leave it at that. We can look that up, but I think it was found at the police station. But the Atlanta, what do they call themselves? The AtlantaBlackStar.com said it is time, and they're quoting the Black Panthers on this, it is time for black people to reconsider a black nation within. I didn't, wasn't we against segregation and all that back in the 60s? Didn't we try to get past that?
They did.
Now, I seen another video. This black gentleman was at, it was an all black gathering in a church, and they were on and on about this particular thing, and they wanted to take over. And they basically want Georgia, Alabama. Let me find their map here. Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, Mississippi, and Louisiana. That's right, Heather. They want to get down there near you, Lady Liberty. They want to control those states. Well, he stood up flat out and told them. Now, he must have been checking with somebody, but he kind of tricked them into answering a question that they didn't know where they were going. He asked him, he said, how many of you folks can hunt? Said, stand up. So a few of them stand up. Said, how many of y'all can fish? So a few more stood up. How many of y'all know how to grow corn and grow crops and plant seed? A few people stood up. And he had them sit down. He said, how many of y'all on firearms? A few people stood up. And he said, now y'all a bunch of fools. He said, they ain't enough. Did you see how few of y'all know how to gather your own food, how to hunt? Said, how long, if we go and riot across America, how long do you think the food in the grocery store going to last? Only a couple of days. So he's saying, how are you going to forage and take care of your family? He said, and he asked, and he got even more specific. That's right, on the firearms thing. He asked him, how many of y'all shoot frequently? So, like, you can't really see the whole congregation, but quite a few stand up. He said, no, when I say frequently, I talk about once or twice a week. And like 90% of them sat down. And the other 10%, probably only 3%, because you and I know, being in the firearms business, people that say they shoot 2 or 3 times a week, they really shoot 2 or 3 times a month.
Oh, yeah.
If they're lucky. And I understand the reasons why. And that it is what it is. It's life. But, he made a very valid point, although I didn't agree with his reasoning, because right after he did that, he turned around and promoted them to go out and do this so they could take over the areas they want. So, that's kind of the bad, excuse me, the bad part of what his point was, but it was a very valid point. And why am I focusing on racism? It's really simple, because I'm sick and tired of it, plain and simple. This country needs to be united. We are the United States of America. I mean, you've noticed I got my Trump shirt on. Trumped up and trickled down.
I ain't got one of them.
Yeah. $5, you can get you one.
I ain't got $5.
Trump making America great again. He making T-shirts affordable. You can get you a T-shirt with his name on it for $5.
You need to check the tag in that thing. Make sure it ain't made in Mexico.
It probably made in China or Taiwan, but all right. I'm leading up to the debates, but before we get there, I want to clear something up on the racism. I'm not finished with that yet. Y'all think I'm beating up black folk? I'm not. What I'm saying is this country is going after a vote, and Obama's been pushing to keep that vote the whole time he's been in. And I'm asking if there's any black folks out there listening, and I hope there are, because I know there's black conservatives, and I don't know if we've reached that market yet, but I would like to think that we're getting there. And guys and gals that are so proud to say you have black friends, invite them to listen to the show. Because here's where I'm going with this. I'm tired of hearing racism. There is every man, every woman in this country has the same opportunity, regardless. They want to say they're oppressed. Okay. Kaepernick, for example, I don't know if you guys noticed it because the media kind of squashed this, but hundreds of college athletes got Kaepernick jerseys. Now, these things are like $100 a pop. And all of a sudden, schools around America have Kaepernick jerseys. And allegedly, there's going to be some anthem protest with Kaepernick jerseys on. I'm going to tell you, if I was a dean or one of them schools or sports coordinator, they wouldn't do that but one time. But that's me. I am the angry American. I believe in standing up for that flag, because what they fail to remember is that flag is what, and the people that fought for that flag is what give them the right to be as stupid as they are. But people talk about racism and the oppressed. What I mean is, I will continue to say it's a complete line of crap.
They don't know what oppression is.
No, today it's not oppression. It's freebies. It's giveaways.
Exactly.
It's EBT. It's the whole thing. And I think you said this on one of the shows before. I could be wrong, but I thought it was you about, teaching a man to fish.
Absolutely.
Give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish.
He eats for a lifetime.
There you go. So, and the thing is, now EBT is accepted everywhere. I mean, a liquor store, EBT, are you kidding me?
Well, I got in this rant one day this week.
A white guy got in a rant?
Yeah. Matter of fact, it was Saturday morning on the way down to the ride, and Brandy and I were talking about it, and that's what people don't understand is this has been a push for many, many years in the government is to control the citizens of this country. And in order to do that, they have to have ways of controlling us. One is taking our guns, taking our Second Amendment.
Oh, absolutely.
And two is making people dependent upon the government. So when you go back and you look at welfare and food stamps and so forth and so on, what are they doing? They're making the people dependent upon them. Okay.
Well, what did Lyndon Johnson say about welfare? I mean, plain and simple. He said, give these niggers what they want now and we will own them forever. That was a really close quote to what he said. And if you're offended by the N-word, don't listen to hip hop music. Just saying.
And that's the thing is you give them and give them and give them, and then they don't know how to take care of themselves. And that's the problem with people today is you go back and you look at the older generations. I mean, way beyond me, and I'm old, and
you ain't that old.
I ain't gonna call you old, but you go back and look at our grandparents. What did they do? Every year they had a garden, they canned foods, they put it up, they took care of themselves. Now you go out here just like you were talking earlier, and you talk to people and you say, can you grow a garden? No, I can't do that. You stop the food stamps, the welfare, and the grocery store shut down. Well, God forbid.
But you got to get past all the death. Yeah, you got to get past the rioting, looting. But it would make people think that I need to
3 days.
All right, I was going to wait and take calls, but we'll go ahead and take this call and just see if they're a rant or a save. Hello, you're on Angry American with Highway Jack.
Hello, how you doing?
All right, yourself?
Doing good. This is Howard Salmon. You guys wanted to talk and say hello.
Hey, Howard, Tim. This is our guy I was telling you about, Jack, that wrote the song, sings the song.
Oh, okay. I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but Tim has said some mighty fine things about it.
Howard, I did get a chance to listen to the song, and I really liked it, and wanted to give you a little bit of opportunity to promote that thing. Like I told you in the message, you know, we do try to help the vets and the guys with PTSD, and so I did want to give you a chance to get on here and tell everybody what you got, the song, and try to promote the song a little bit, and tell us about yourself. Sure. So go for it.
Well, let's before we introduce you officially, let me stop the clock here, guys and girls. Bear with us. Let me ask you: can you need more than 2 minutes? I'm going to guess, right, to tell us about yourself.
Okay. I'll take whatever time you give me.
No, that's fine. Let me ask you this: can you hang on the phone with us for a couple of minutes, because we're going to knock out a commercial break, and then we'll bring you back and let you introduce yourself. So if you don't mind just sitting tight with me, don't hang up, just stay with us. Sure. And
do that.
And we will definitely do it, because we want to touch on that. But
you got it, buddy.
I do appreciate it. But what I was saying on the whole racism thing is, guys and gals, get out there. You're not oppressed. That's a line of crap that you've been fed for too long. You need to get out there and earn a living. I've said it before. It's been proven the 3 things that you need in life to not be oppressed, if you want to use that word, are in poverty. Finish high school, which all these people that are out there doing the BLM thing, 99.9 probably haven't done that. So get your high school education, get a job, and don't have kids before you do those 2 things, and preferably get married. It's that simple to not be in poverty and be oppressed in the United States of America. So the storyline of that narrative you're getting from the left, you need to stop. And we're going to talk about the debate situation on that, and where Hillary went with the black vote after this next great song. And man, we're going to talk about after the commercial break. But this thing about being oppressed, you've got to stand up for it. I mean, Irish people were slaves before blacks were, and you don't hear them kicking and screaming. White people, everybody has been a slave at some point in history. All right, you had 150 something years. Quit buying into this false narrative. And what I'm alluding to, how many black millionaires are there today, Tim, compared to 20 years ago?
A boatload.
A gazillion. I mean, a lot of them. Okay, how many successful black? A lot of them. How many successful black senators? A lot. Oh, wait a minute. We've got a black president. I mean, how long do you have to hear this false narrative before you go, you know, maybe they got a point? I mean, you go into high schools, how many black principals? They're all over the place. Unfortunately, the shooting, and I say unfortunately because a man did lose his life, was shot by what? A black cop. So there is no part of our society. We have black scientists. We have black doctors. Oh, Dr. Ben Carson, for example, one of the most successful doctors out there, and he's black. So stop falling for it, boys and girls. We're going to take a commercial break, and then we got a great introduction, and we'll be right back with you, so bear with us. Thanks so much for tuning in. Highway Jack, Tim Tenney on the Angry American Radio Show.
All right, Howard, you still with me? You put him on hold?
No, Howard, you still there?
I'm still here, brother.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good speaking, brother.
Well, we're going to this commercial break. We do have this thing up live on YouTube, so we are still, the YouTube side of it can still hear what we're talking about. But as soon as we come back on the app side, we'll let you have it. I did enjoy the song, and I wanted to spend just a few minutes with you and see what if any of these proceeds are going to help the vets, and you're about yourself, and let you promote yourself a little bit.
I'm gonna let Tim introduce you, since he knows you.
I don't know him.
That's right.
Well, you know him better than I do. I just met the man on the phone.
Well, that's about what I did. I've messaged you.
You're trying to make me look stupid on YouTube. I see how it is.
No, Howard, I didn't get a chance to meet you. I believe you.
All right, we're back.
All right, we are back. All right, here we go. Give us just a second.
No, you don't have a second. We're live. Welcome back. Highway Jack, Tim Tenney, Angry American Radio, with a special guest, a special song with a very special meaning.
Howard, I'm going to let you take it and introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your song and what it's about. And you go ahead. It's all yours.
Sure. Well, my name is Howard Salmon. I've been a truck driver for about 32 years. Prior to that, 8 years in the military, 3 years Army, 1 year Army National Guard.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anyhow, what I've been really always doing out here, you know, as a lot of us truck drivers do, we always serve our country, even after we have served our country. And I've written some songs, one called Soldiers and Truckers. And I just got a song here a few months back. A friend of mine, Joe Graham from another radio station, he has actually introduced me to a fella in Ireland, Dublin, Ireland, had written a song. And I actually had written back to him and asked him if he was going to go ahead and perform this song. And he said he does not like standing up in front of people. I asked him if I could record this song. It touched my heart, and I'm sure it would touch a lot of other folks. He said, go ahead. It's yours.
Awesome.
Joe introduced me to Tom Byrne, Dublin, Ireland. He wrote this song called War Within. I took it to studio here a few months ago in Dallas, recorded this song. Brother, the feeling of this song was so strong in studio. I was shaking so hard with this song. It was coming out of me just, you know, it was something that was just right. When I finished that, the guy behind the panel looked at me, he looked at me and his thumbs up. He says, you know, he told me that was just crazy. That song right there touches the heart of a lot of folks. The song is about our soldiers, about our loved ones, their wives. You know, even the military women with their husbands that may have to go through the situation of PTSD with their loved one. PTSD is a very strong emotion. It's very hard effect on millions of people, not just with our military. We have police officers, we have our firefighters, EMT, suffer with some sort of with PTSD occasionally with certain things that happen. This song here is to bring awareness to PTSD. Don't just be afraid of it. Just find out how you can help. If they wish to talk to you, talk to them. Don't ask them. Just talk to them. Just go up there. Be an ear for them. They sometimes want to have something to say. Listen to them. Sometimes just getting it off their chest is all they need. The song here is about PTSD. It's about a soldier giving up, unfortunately, but that's what we have a lot of right now is soldiers giving up. It's a hard one to do, and I'm really proud to get it out there. What I'm trying to do is get many downloads on this song, get it out there for the world to hear. And I've talked to the writer as well. We're going to be sharing the proceeds of this song with whomever we can. I'm still yet to find a solid organization that is actually going to help push it with us to get it out there. But if we can get the money right back to them, that's what we want to do. I don't need it. I just want to be able to give it back. This is the way I've always felt about all my music. Pretty much everybody knows what I do. I've always been giving things back. And this is how this song is to me as well. So with all that, there you go. That's pretty much the basics of this song.
Well, that's a good story, Howard. Actually, I'm trying to get it to play, which we have to be very careful being on YouTube with. But if we don't, guys and gals, it is The War Within, and that's Howard Sound.
It's not called The War Within. Be careful about that.
Well,
War Within. If you
my speech terminology.
Sure.
The song is called War Within. How about
there? There you go. It is on YouTube as well, like you said. You can hear my version if you put my name in.
That is your version there. Let's take 20 or 30 seconds, and then I'll have to cut it off before YouTube bleeps us. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, and you could be forgiven if you thought it all a dream. Your friends and family are there to welcome you back home. And with the ones you love close by your side, you're home where you belong.
All right, man. I'm gonna tell you, with just that few seconds of hearing it, it sounds like a really good song. The message is definitely there, and I got to say, the voice is heartfelt for sure.
Thank you.
And you diverted us. We were going, of course, thanks to the debate last night, which incidentally, Military Mike was pissed off because he didn't get to come on after the debates. I don't know what he did, but to speak to your message, and a lot of folks know, and we do tend to get. I tend to digress a lot. So we're going to step away from and come back to the subject of the debate. But we're going to have to do it kind of that we're run down the debate in an overview. But we do try to do, like Tim said, and help not only people with PTSD, but anybody out there that needs help. And incidentally, my girlfriend's father, we did a ride this past weekend for, and we, of course, veterans come out in force on those kind of things. And we had a good ride. We had a really good ride, a beautiful day, hour and a half ride. A lot of people learned a lot about ALS that they had never known about before. Excuse me. But unfortunately, we lost our father late last night, early this morning. So with that being said, that kind of puts a pressure point to the nerve of PTSD and how important it is to talk to these people as soon as you can. Like you mentioned, they just want an ear. And if we can give them that, we may save somebody's life. Now, this is a whole different ballgame than ALS, but my point is life is short, boys and girls. You never know when it's going to end. So don't let that moment slip away from you. And if you can save someone else's life, you have just validated yours twice. So that's my opinion. And I'll tell you, we will do what we can to get your song out there. I will talk to the radio station music manager and see if he can get it in rotation. If that's a possibility, he may need to talk with you about that. I'm not sure how that works.
Absolutely.
Because we are just voices. We're angry American commentators. We don't run the radio music part. But I tell you, sure. I will definitely be giving that song a listen, probably on the way out of here tonight.
You keep my phone number there. If it popped up on your screen, please do keep it. And if there's anything I can do for the soldiers, for your audience, you just give me a call and I'll be there. I'll do whatever I can to get there.
And I'll
try to help out.
What state are you? I think your phone is Wisconsin.
It is Wisconsin,
okay.
Right?
Cheeseheads.
Well, yeah. So I'll tell you what. Now, if y'all are from Hawaii, you just go ahead and you call me. Say you got a bit over here, so I'll just have to get a flight and go back to Hawaii.
Oh yeah, I'll be sure that I'm going to be in Hawaii anytime real soon.
I used to live over there. It's a pretty nice place.
Well, Howard, thanks so much for calling in. I didn't know you were going to call in tonight, but I'll tell you what I'd like to do, because we do have to do the debate thing, is next week, if you want to give me a heads up that you're calling in, we'd like to talk a little bit more to you, and maybe we'll focus next week's show, the first segment on helping folks with PTSD, because I think maybe by then Tim and I might even have a little more, because we're still trying to name our organization, and it's not the Highway Jack Tim Tenney save your ass solutions, but we're trying to do what we can.
Right.
And I said I was going to quit using
me a call.
And I said I was going to quit using nasty words on the air, and Tim just
I just let him do what he wants to, Howard. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can. We've got your number here now. Jack and I both do, and so we'll try to I'll try to touch base with you a little sooner. I know tonight was my day was hectic today, and I got here and I said, oh man, I forgot to send him a message, so I jumped right on it to try to get you in here, and I meant to tell him before the show that I was going to bring you on, and there's the blame game. See, no, it was me. It was all me, and I never did make it around to it because he wouldn't shut up long enough. There's the blame game.
That's what I'm talking about. But Howard, in all honesty, we both appreciate what you're doing, sir, and it's a great song from what I've heard so far, and I don't doubt that my opinion on it will change.
Thank you. We appreciate it, and I'll do what I can to help you out.
Thanks so much for calling in, and maybe we can work something out, and like I said, do a little segment with you the first of next week.
Thank you. Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks so much. God bless.
Have a good night. God bless. Bye-bye.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise. I'm glad you told me about it.
Well, I was trying to, but you wouldn't shut up before we come on the radio.
I don't think that was the case. Yeah,
you stood over here and talked to Scotty for how long?
All right. Here we go. Knock out some political last night, who won the debate?
Well,
The polls say, for the most part, except for the Clinton News Network,
Hillary,
that the Trumpster won them. I'm going to say it was a draw. But here's the thing, and this just in, that was my worst Robin Williams. Like,
that was horrible.
That was hey, I've got a sinus infection. Leave me alone. They say Hillary was wearing an earwig, but her camp says it was not an earwig. It was a cough suppressor. Then forget the wire and the body pack and the earplug going down, down to the receiver in the back. It was a cough suppressor.
Now I know why she keeps passing out.
Yeah. But, here's the thing. Everybody kept saying she was robotic. Well, I heard that, and my thoughts on her being robotic was the fact that she took 248 days off the campaign trail to practice, that she allegedly had 7 separate Trumpsters that she was going against to figure out which Trump to debate, and I was like, holy cow.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
It is, but now Trump won the first part of the debate, according to everybody, including the Clinton News Network, because he was being Trump. But what he really killed himself on, and yes, he left a ton of, he went to school last night. He learned a lot of stuff that he slipped up on, the email scandal. He didn't pop her on that as hard. He didn't even mention the Clinton Foundation. When she asked about taxes, he should have hammered her, and he could have answered that question. He spent 8 minutes on that question about taxes of his own, defending himself on his heels. And if anybody out there has done any boxing like myself, if you're on your heels, that is not the place you want to be.
No, it's not.
And he could have quickly called her out, and he could have very simply said, I will be glad to release my taxes as soon as my attorney tells me that it's a safe bet. It's that simple. He started with that lead in, and then he said, even against my attorney, if she brings up the 33,000 emails.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. But then it stopped. He opened Pandora's box right there. He could have just, bam, hammer time.
But he stopped.
And he stopped.
Well, and that's what I told you earlier, he had so many opportunities to just knock her block off. And he was, in my opinion, he was not the Trump we seen 6 months ago.
Well, here's the thing. The reason he wasn't is he messed up the same way McCain did on his second run around. And every time I get on a rant, I get a caller. Trying to figure out how to answer this Samsung phone. Hello, you're on the air with Highway Jack, Angry American Radio.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to join the political conversation.
All right,
I'm Drew. I listen to all the Just for Fun radio stations.
You're Dr. Drew on the morning show.
Yes.
All right, how you doing? We were actually just now starting to ramp up on a little bit of the debate. So let me make this quick statement, and then I'll let you go ahead with your point, because I don't want to get out of here without saying this. Last night,
Right.
Trump was interrupted 41 times.
Yes.
Hillary was interrupted 7. He asked Trump 6 follow-up questions and questioned, gave him the fact checking, as they say.
Oh.
And he didn't do that for Hillary. It didn't answer nothing.
None at all.
So there's just some quick stats on how that debate went down. If you can't read between the lines on that one, something's missing. So Drew, go right ahead with your comments and tell us what you're thinking about.
And I'm not gonna talk too long about this, because I know you guys have a show to do, but I kind of disagree with you, sir.
That's an open challenge. That's fine.
I think Hillary handled herself very well.
All right. Let me ask you something. With that being said, now I will agree with you on that, and I'll tell you where my point of view comes. But you say she handled herself very well. What do you think about the latest noise about her having an earwig and being instructed on what to say?
I don't think she was instructed on what to say at all.
So you think that the earwig pictures and the rumors are a myth, that's not true?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's not true.
So that was a anti-coughing device, you think?
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna let you. That's your opinion, and I'm gonna totally let you have that. But let me ask you something. She was so put together, and she did miss so much of the campaign trail. I believe the dates were 248 days of practice for that debate. So I kind of expected her to be pretty good on it, to be honest with you.
Right. Well, let's get some of the facts here.
Sure. I know you're good at that.
Even though-
I've heard you on the show before.
Even though Hillary Clinton, let's just face some facts here. Hillary Clinton has been doing this for 40 plus years.
26
or whatever. But
I just thought we were going with facts, Drew. That's all.
Trump, I want to tell you something else too. Trump made a total idiot of himself.
At times he absolutely did. I'll grant you that as well.
Right. But and this is coming from a Republican mind you. And I'm glad this is being recorded because I want to go on record of saying this. I know Trump is running for the Republican Party, but this is one Republican voter who is not, I repeat, not voting for Trump.
Now, are you going to vote for a pussified libertarian?
No.
So are you voting for Hillary?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Let me ask you something, Drew. Do you believe any of the lies that she's been held accused of and proved of? Do you believe any of those?
What do you mean by that, sir?
The lies that she's told the American public. Let's say, for example, on her emails, she didn't know what the C meant, for classified. She didn't delete, 33, which turned into 60 some odd thousand emails. That she didn't know that it was okay for her to have a server at home. Those kind of things.
Okay. Now, on that issue, let me say this. Let's agree.
It's really it's a yes or no question, to be honest with you, Drew.
Yes and no, actually, because I don't want to put this out there, but I'm a Christian.
Wait a minute, you just that's fine. You're a Christian, but you just said you wanted to be recorded on the air. Now I'm messing with you, okay? So don't get offended, but I am messing with you a little bit.
Right. But I'm a Christian, so I can forgive her because let's just point out the facts here. Hillary Clinton is a whole lot better fit for the office of president.
Okay, with you saying that, let me ask you something. You stated the amount of numbers of years that she's been in office and all these things that she claims she's going to do. One strong point that I will absolutely give Mr. Trump last night was he very plainly stated, you've been here for he said 30 years, as Minnie mentioned, and she corrected 26. So he said 26 years, and you haven't done any of that. So how is she going to start doing it all of a sudden?
Well, your name is Brad, right?
No, I'm Highway Jack.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson.
No, mister. You can just call me Highway or Highway Jack or just don't call me late for supper. That's all right.
Okay, Jack. Let's point out some of the facts here. Even though she has been there for 26 plus years, because mind you, her husband has been
and he screwed this country real good, but go ahead.
Right. But one thing I want to point out, Hillary Clinton is not, and mind you, this is coming from a Republican, for all you people out there that are listening, this is coming from a Republican. Hillary Clinton is not, I repeat, is not Obama, and she's not her husband. So I think that she is going to do some things that I'm not going to like as a Republican, but I think that she is politically fit and politically sound to run this country better than Donald Trump.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll let you have your opinion, and I will strongly disagree with it on so many bases. because she is not her husband. She is not Obama. She is those two put together times two and worse than that. She has been there so long and hasn't done any good. You ask people, what has she done, to do good? They say, oh, the Clinton Foundation. Well, it's also being checked for all their 501c3 violations. And she has told more lies and been caught in them. I call her Hillary flip-flop Clinton, because there's nothing that she has ever been for that she stays for. She was for, only you being a Christian, work with me on this. What did she say? I'm for marriage between a man and a woman. I am not for gay marriage. Later, she comes out and she says she is for the unity of same-sex marriage. I mean, there's nothing.
Right.
There's nothing. I mean, come on, Drew. She has done nothing but flip-flopped her entire career. She says what's going on, what's hot at the moment. Talk about the black community. She says she's going to do things for the black community. She does nothing but prey on the black community for the vote. She's been there all these years, and what has she done for the black community? She keeps talking about it, but she hasn't done anything for the black community.
And Mr. Jack, that might be true, but I think for somebody to be president, they have to be keen on what America wants. And I'm not saying that I agree with America 100% either, but let's just be honest. To be president, you have to be keen on what America wants to hear and what America wants a president to be. And I think Hillary Clinton fits the bill.
Okay, let me ask you, how many people did Hillary have to go up against in the Democratic committee to become the nominee for Democratic president-elect?
Possible. Pretty much nobody.
Okay, 4 to start with. What did she do to her closest one, Bernie Sanders?
She belittled him, I guess.
She paid to get him gone.
Right.
I mean, that's the Russian email hack that Hillary is on, that they're the ones that went in there and found out what the DNC was doing. I've seen that email, and it is just so disturbing. So she only had to beat out 4, and then the last one she was up against, she railroaded with money and the DNC, and her vice president used to be head of the DNC, and the previous head of DNC is now out of the DNC because of what happened with that whole shenanigan. And then she went to work for Hillary, which become another scandal. And to my knowledge, she's not, what's her name, Wasserman. I think she is no longer working with them. Now let's flip the coin for a minute. We've just proven that she is very dishonest. How many people did Donald Trump go up against in the Republican nomination?
16.
And he beat out how many to get where he's at right now?
15.
Okay. And would you not say that those were some, wait, let me ask you this, Drew. Would you not say those were some very presidentially qualified people that he beat out?
Yes, sir. But let's just flip the coin back over on the head for a minute, and let's put it to you this way. Trump is a hothead, self-arrogant, rich kid who is part of the 1%.
Okay, you just labeled me, except for the last couple of points. I'm not rich and I'm not in the 1%. But here's the thing about Trump. Have you seen his interview? Have you seen his interview?
Label you.
I'm saying you just described me, but I'm saying, have you seen Trump's interview from the Oprah Winfrey Show from 24 years ago, whatever it was?
No, I have not.
Okay, do this for me, and I want you to watch that. I want you to call me back next week, regardless of what happens in any political scheme. I want you to watch that, and then I want you to look at what he's talking about today, and then we'll talk about where Trump is. And I'm going to give you everything you just said about Trump. That's all you, and you can take the responsibility, and I'm going to go with you on the fact that we are going to agree to disagree this week. I want you to watch that video, call back next week, and I'll talk with you about it.
Right. But, Mr. Jack, let me just say one more thing, and then I will get off because I want to listen to the rest of the show.
Well, you're about the end of it, but that's all right. Go right ahead, Drew. What do you got to say?
Sorry.
Nope. No,
sorry.
That's what we're here for. We invite callers, and you are one of them. So go right ahead.
Right. But I want to go on record as saying, as of right now, this is one Republican who is not going to vote for a Republican candidate who this far has belittled women, who has slapped them in the face, not to mention he has slapped his own party in the face because he is a hothead, radical Republican, and I do not want to vote for a presidential nominee who is radical and who has a hothead. That is why for right now, that is why I'm a Hillary Clinton supporter.
Do you think that Vladimir Putin is a hothead?
Come again, sir?
Do you think Vladimir Putin is a hothead?
The leader of Russia?
Correct.
Yes.
Does anybody walk over Russia and run over
No.
Russia and take their
No.
trade money away from them?
No.
Okay. When have you seen
But
when have you seen the Donald be a hothead? When he's questioned about something that he is passionate about. When he's passionate about something. And when I get passionate about something, I become a hothead. Let me ask you another question. Do you happen to be a firearms owner, Second Amendment person?
yes, I did. Yes.
And you're willing to
Yes.
vote for somebody that wants to take those rights away from you?
Well, no. She said she doesn't want to take them away. She just wants to vamp she just wants to create more gun policies, which I'm for.
Okay, we don't need more gun policies, Drew. All they have to do is enforce the ones they have. I mean, we have got got some of the most strict gun laws. The largest city in America with strict gun laws is Chicago.
And I agree with you. But
You knew where I was going with that.
yes, I agree with you. But you put the nail right on the head. America is not enforcing the gun laws we have in place.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let's stick on what you said about more gun laws. Let's take Chicago in point. All right, we're going to wind up wrapping the show up with you because this is a very valid point that you brought up. Let's take Chicago, who has the toughest gun laws in the nation, also has the highest per capita deaths in the nation. Okay. Are law-abiding citizens committing these crimes and murdering people in Chicago?
Come again, sir?
Are the people that are committing the murders, this high count murder rate in Chicago, are they being committed by, let's say, NRA card holders, concealed weapons permit card holders? Are they being committed by law-abiding citizens?
No, because the people that are buying guns, Mr. Jack, correct me if I'm wrong, but the people that are buying guns have a mental health problem, and this is something else I want to say.
Come on, Drew. You're going to tell me the whole. You know what? I'm actually going to agree that yes, Chicago definitely has a massive mental health problem, but it's called drugs and gangs, not average American citizens.
Right. But besides the drugs and gang problem, you have all these people who have mental health problems in America.
How many deaths were done in America by people with mental health issues?
In the past year, I can barely count on my fingers, but it's a whole.
You only have 10.
bunch.
You only have 10 if you count your thumbs as fingers. Given a 300+ million population, even if it was 100 people, which I doubt, I dare say it's not. Tim, you can look that up if you want. That is a very minute argument. I dare say.
Right. Well, Mr. Jack, let's back up here a minute, because I'm going to remind you the Sandy Hook tragedy, the theater tragedy, the Fort Hood incident.
Fort Hood was a Muslim terrorist. Sandy Hook is questionable at best.
Right. Right. But all those cases were mental aside from the Sandy Hook thing, or no, aside from the Fort Hood thing, all those were mental health issues. And this is just my opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion, like you said. But here's what I think needs to happen.
Okay,
as far as
you just named a national populace of mental health issues. Okay, and in those, Sandy Hook probably had the highest with 20 something or 30 something people injured. Okay, let's go 10 times that. Let's say 300 in the nation. Let's just go really wild on this. Okay, do you know how many people have been shot and wounded in Chicago this year alone? In just Chicago, no other city, just Chicago.
yes,
2,726.
right, and that is because I'll agree with you. The crime rate has gone up in Chicago, but that is because not only because of the drugs, not only because of the gang violence, but because of the mental health issues. And what I was going to say was, in addition to enforcing the gun laws that we already have, our next American president really needs to think about reintroducing mental health hospitals, because that's the whole other side of the issue.
Drew, what you need to do, I understand your sympathy and empathy for mental health, but you need to look at the stats as a whole. And if you look at it, the mental health issue that you're focusing on is a very minute number. I'm not saying that it is not a problem, but I'm saying that you're willing to vote in a president that's willing to take your rights away versus a president candidate that is willing to stand for your rights and is passionate about this country. Like I said, I'm going to give you your points, and I ask that you watch that video. And, keep in mind that the woman that you're wanting to elect, took $100,000 in bribery and camouflage future trades from Tyson Foods. She's failed to correct false testimony time and time again.
And
Healthcare.
Mr. Jack,
I mean, the lies go on and on.
Mr. Jack, let me correct you. I didn't say I wanted to vote for her. I'm just saying, as of right now, if I had to pick right now, it would be Miss Hillary Clinton, because Mr. Trump is inexperienced. The only thing he's experienced in, possibly, is how to get rid of our national debt. That is the only thing.
What is the number one thing America's concerned about with the election and as a whole right now in America? The top two things. I'll give you the top two. Do you know what they are?
The national debt and jobs.
Okay, and you just said that he could do what the best? Get rid of that, right?
Get rid of the national
So he
debt.
he can fix the number one broken thing in America, and you don't want to vote for him.
And the number two thing, for that matter.
Here is his solution for fixing here is his number one solution for fixing the number two problem in America. After he has accompanied overseas, he wants to create a tax break for his 1% of the richest people in America. And
no, that's not what he's saying. He's saying across the board a tax break, and he's also wanting to do what we call a mirror tax. In other words, people that take stuff out of the country to bring it back to this country, it gets taxed, which is not happening now.
Right.
I mean, there's no reason to talk about what he's going to do in the financial realm, because you've already said yourself that you know that he can fix that. But we're going to have to put this on a to be continued, Drew. I want you to watch his video from Oprah. It was about 24 years ago. It's not hard to find. It's out there. I really appreciate you calling in, and I look forward to hearing from you next week.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jack.
Thank you.
And I'm so sorry.
Not a problem. You enjoy the rest of your night.
Okay, bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we were trying to find those stats on the killings for I cannot stand Samsung products. There we go. For the killings that have been done. Did you ever find those?
I haven't. I'll have to.
I'm going to tell you, as a populace, it's very minute. Ladies and gentlemen, that was an interesting conversation. I think that in that debate, Highway Jack won. Dr. Drew would probably disagree, but that's okay. We're going to. And you know what? I didn't even have to raise my voice. I didn't pull a Donald on anybody. But my point to Donald's passion, when he gets upset, that's his passion. And you know what killed me is totally what was his name? The moderator. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting everything tonight. I want to say Les Bear, but that's because I'm thinking about guns. And if you guys don't know, Les Bear makes custom 1911s. But anyway, the moderator and Clinton both totally ignored when Trump said, and the person with a temperament problem is the lady I heard behind the blue screen that was screaming and yelling profanities. They ignored that altogether.
Yeah, of course they ignored it. They're not going to fight that one.
The Secret Service has released. We're definitely going over. Matter of fact, we blew the last commercial break. I apologize for my sponsors. I'll play those after this segment here. We're gonna go about 7 more minutes because we did get a late start. But hey, I got a vote here. You see that one, right? I have one vote. I think Highway Jack for president. I'm gonna next. That's what shirt I'll get next. I'll wear Highway Jack for president. You wear Hillary for prison next week. How about that? What do you think about that, Darlan? But anyway, I appreciate callers like that because it does bring a good segment in. We have a very angry left-wing person that wants to get on with us, and because it is going to get so volatile, and I know that I kind of went away from that. And if you're wondering why I didn't let you in, the left-winger, that's why. And I don't want it to get volatile. I think that you might be a little too passionate. I'll go that route. But and that's with all due respect. It's not that I'm not up for a good debate, as you can tell I am, but I'm not going to get into an argument because, for one thing, I've got a microphone and the hang-up button, and I do not want to have to do that to anybody. But again, I think that was great. I don't know. What do you think, Tim?
I stepped out of that one because I wasn't even getting in the middle of that one.
Oh man, afraid to get your feet wet.
Now see that. When you get into that kind of stuff, that's where.
Well, he brought up some points that the left are going to bring up.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and I don't have a problem.
But you've obviously never seen me watch the things that go on the news because I scream and holler at the TV and throw stuff at the TV. Yeah. So that's why I just stepped out of that one. Let you have it. You were doing a fine job. Now I had you back if you.
Oh, I knew you did. Scotty just sent me a message which actually is posted, I believe, on that. Pull up the Angry American page. I'm looking at it another page and see if there's a white guy that goes out with a sign that simply says "All Lives Matter."
I think I saw something.
I think I did post that on the Angry American page.
Pull it up.
And the cool thing is it goes into this white dude goes out into a white neighborhood and he's got a sign that says Black Lives Matter. And he's asking people, and guys, go look at it. Tim's making sure it's on the page. If it's not, I might have shared it on my personal page, and I'll correct that. But
yeah, it's on here.
It is on that. It's on the Angry American page. Go look at it. I'm not even going to tell you any more about it.
It was posted yesterday at 1:26.
Yesterday at 1:26, it was posted, and Scotty's going to play it on the morning show in the morning. So if you listen to the morning show, you can check it out then. But it really points to what a Clinton America would be more like.
No, I take that back. It's posted 23 hours ago. You shared it 23 hours
okay,
ago. So
it is on there. And what's the name of it?
Let's see.
White guy shows how stupid America is.
It's white neighborhood with Black Lives Matter sign versus black neighborhood with All Lives Matter.
Yeah,
sign.
All Lives Matter. So go check that video out. I'm gonna let you guys do that on your own. But on the debate thing, I had so much. The one that got me was the battle axe behind the blue curtain. I thought that was a riot, but nobody, there were so many punches he could have swung. He went to school last night. Okay. I'm not going to say that Hillary won because most of the polls after the fact said it, but what I did admire about him was he hung around after the whole deal was over. And I guess it was for at least an hour talking to everybody, including the Clinton News Network. I think he held his own. Did he get, the part that like Drew was talking about when he was getting volatile, that was when he was passionate at the beginning of the debate. And that's when everybody, including the left, said he was in control of the debate and winning. So, I don't see that as anger. I see it as passion. And when they were talking about the split screen, they said that was a great idea the first time they'd done that in a presidential debate for pretty much the whole thing. Well, they were saying how nasty he looked. To me, he looked like he always looks.
He looked like Donald Trump.
Yeah, he looks like he was listening to what was going on. Yeah, he's got a weird look about his face. I mean, it's, he's not happy, smiley, go lucky when he's doing that.
I ain't gonna tell you who I think he looks like.
Me?
No.
I was thinking, God, I hope I don't look that old.
If I say Walter, you know who Walter is?
Oh, the puppet.
Jeff Dunn.
Yeah, Jeff Dunn's puppet Walter. Yeah, he would be a good puppet for Jeff Dunn and have. But look at Hillary, her little smirk, and it was like, I believe the earwig thing, because I think a lot of times that she was smirking, she was getting told, because that's when she was smirking, she had numbers, which they didn't fact check. But if you look on the fact checking that was done today, which we didn't have enough time to go over, most of the things that she allegedly had facts for were incorrect. But what's his stupid name? Bear? Killing me. I'm gonna blame it on a sinus infection. Bottom line.
Go ahead and do that.
But yeah, they didn't fact check her at all. And, what she said was a lot of lies. And to think that he would vote for her just kills me, that we have Republicans out there thinking that they're not paying attention to the facts. And that's why I brought up that video. And I've had so many people say, you know what, you're right. He's doing the same thing he did, 20 years ago, 24 years ago, what have you. So, I thought that was a cool video, because he did not change. His stance pretty much is exactly the same. He's for, and Hillary and them, they talk about him making money out of country. I wish he would take a minute and explain how business is done to stay alive. You have to go. It was Lester Holt that was.
Lester Holt.
Thank you for looking that up for me. I appreciate it.
I was trying.
I know you're trying, but I beat you to it. But anyway, I wish he would explain how business is done in America, because I deal with foreign crap all the time. And he does what everybody else does. He does to survive. Now, one thing on his taxes, when he was asked about taxes, and she said he hadn't paid any, that was a big goof, in my opinion, for him to say, I paid none because I was smart and using the system. I don't think he should have. There was no reason for him to say that. Now, some people say that he was pointing out there's flaws in the system.
There is.
And he did. He said, you've been here for 30 years. Why haven't you fixed them?
Well,
he pointed that out.
That too. But I mean, we were just discussing this very thing today. Businesses need those tax breaks, because the more tax breaks that they do get, the more jobs that they do create.
I am glad you brought that up, because Hillary said she wanted to raise taxes
on businesses,
and not just businesses, on American citizens.
Well, and not only that, but when they raise taxes on the businesses do what?
They have to cut back. They either do one of two things. They cut back or they raise prices. Okay, so she's wrong there. Now, she said that going and cutting taxes, as George W. Bush did, backfired. Well, they forget that George W. spent a ton of money. So you can't lower taxes and spend money. That's like cutting your wages down and going out and buying a new Ferrari. It's not going to work.
Well, I mean, you look at when they would give money back. I mean, W did it. I know one time, because I got a check for what, $600.
Yeah. I forget what they called that, but yeah, were families getting $500 and $600 a pop.
So if you come up with an extra $600 that you weren't expecting, what are you going to do?
Well, the idea is you put it back in the economy.
Exactly. Well, that's what everybody.
You went and bought beans and bullets. Who you kidding?
Well, I put it back in the economy.
That's true. That's true.
I pay taxes. So, but I mean, that's the whole point, is you get that extra $500-600 that you weren't expecting and didn't have budgeted, and you say, hadn't taken the wife out to dinner in a while. We'll take her out, and then we'll go see a movie, and we'll do things. And there is your tax generation. So we're right back to where we were. So you spend the same $600, they get the money back. That's the way you.
And then, to her point, she wants to raise the minimum wage. All this $15 stuff. All these businesses that have raised it have went to kiosks. They've closed stores. They're not doing well. And a lot of those businesses, like in Arizona and stuff like that, out on the West Coast, we have to understand there is a difference in minimum wage. So out there, raising it to 15, while it is high, it's not as much as doubling the minimum wage here in Georgia. Correct. So East Coast, West Coast, I mean, it's the cost of living is more out there. So people don't think about that. they just hear that $15 and I'm going to get, my big raise.
Well, you heard about what happened when they raised it. I think it, and I may be wrong on my facts, and so don't jump on.
No, don't do that.
Well, it's not a big deal if I am, but because I'm going to say I think it was in Washington State somewhere, maybe Seattle somewhere. But they raised, I believe it was Seattle. They raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and the people that got the $15 an hour came back, and this has been probably a year ago.
It looked like that.
No,
they didn't look that bad.
So
that looks pretty pissed off right there. I ought to put that on screen, show how angry people get.
But they after they raised it up, the people were coming back going, "Hey, you've got to cut my hours because you're knocking me out of my government housing because I make too much money."
Yeah. Well, government housing is something that needs to be audited. Which, speaking of audits,
a lot of things with the government needs to be audited.
Trump said he'd been audited, all this, yada, yada, yada. And what I was going to is he did not take and put the nail in the coffin on Clinton and her money. Should have said, well,
what about the audit you're under now?
Yeah, the audit that you're going under, and how did you leave the White House besides stealing half the crap that you put your hands on? Flat broke, in her own words. They were flat broke.
Yep.
Okay, before I even get to my story, how can you leave the White House as president and first lady and be flat broke? So that tells me you obviously can't manage your funds very well.
Obviously.
I mean, they were still getting plenty of money there, and now they're worth $200 million.
What's the president's salary? $450,000.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but really,
it's not a lot for the job.
They don't want the money to be the driving factor for you to be president.
Well,
and
okay,
I agree with that.
You're roughly, I mean, what are we looking at? So
call it $500,000.
$2 million in a term.
Yeah,
for your term.
You make that.
You spent 8. I mean, you spent 2 terms, so you're at $4
million.
$4 million.
Yeah, you make that. No problem.
Yeah, I wished.
But the thing is,
you give me $4 million, I'm gonna be an investing fool.
Oh yeah, investing in McDonald's.
Well, that too. I'd be a big fat guy, but okay.
But that's the thing. So as far as my opinion on the debate, it was a walk away. I don't think there was. I can't really say. Hillary made some good points against Donald, unfortunately, that he didn't combat very well. But I think overall, for his first real presidential debate, he walked away pretty clean. But he missed a lot of home runs he could have hit. He missed a lot. And I think he's going to review that. He's going to be sick, and he is going to study. The difference is he did not study. He spent his time campaigning, and that kind of hurt him from a debate standpoint.
Well, and I haven't commented a whole lot about it because I haven't gotten a chance to go back and watch it. I do have it recorded, but my power went out at 8:30 last night, and so it didn't come back on for over an hour. So by the time I started watching the debate, it was probably 9:40, and so I have to get up at 5. So wasn't long. I was off, but what little bit I did see, I think that I didn't see the Trump that we saw 6 months ago.
Right.
With 6 months ago.
Well, they were trying to tone him down.
Well,
and
exactly.
that's what I was saying with
McCain.
McCain's first go at the president, he was strong and vile and ready to go. His second run at presidency against Obama, he was a lame duck, and that's why he didn't win. But I don't know if he'd done any better because he's pretty much senile. But
I can't stand him. But anyway,
yeah,
and I see Trump come out of the gate there, or what I saw, the parts of it I did see, and I'm thinking, 6 months ago, Trump, you open a door like that, Trump's going to bust you right in the mouth. He didn't do it last night.
Well, he was holding back, and that was I understand it, and I think long term that will probably play to his advantage because he held back this time, and if he comes out guns blazing next time, I think he'll fare better.
Well, I was talking to a guy today, and he said, you go back and look at every presidential debate, nobody ever remembers the first debate, and he said, as a matter of fact, Romney won the first
Romney
debate.
Killed Obama in the first debate. And still lost the president. He said, well, not only that, who was it, Dole or somebody?
He said that's very common. He
said,
generally the one that wins the first debate loses the election.
Well,
so
he went in with a low bar and he tripped over. he didn't have. They wasn't expecting that much, and he fell on his face.
But he's gonna look like a college football coach on Sunday morning. He's gonna be watching films like crazy.
Yeah. He's doing it now, and he'll be better for it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been a little extended version. We like we said, it's 7 to 8 unless we debate, and we had a good caller call in with some points, so it's all good. And we will get back to Howard's music. Taking the name, I forget, what was his last name again?
Howard Salmon.
We'll look to hear from him next week. And
I'm gonna post that. I'm gonna put that YouTube video.
Stick it on. Check it out on
page.
Angry American page. We'll have it posted there for you. And hit Howard up if he's not a member on there.
I told him to send me a request, and he hasn't done that yet. But I'll call him when I leave the show. And
anybody, you guys are welcome to join the Angry American page. Please feel free to do Angry American Radio on Facebook. But we do scan for trolls as much as we can, and if you see any trollers, let us know, and we will knock their clock right out of here. All right, guys and gals, it's been a great show. It's been fun debating with some folks. It is the Angry American Radio Show with Highway Jack and Tim Tenney. We're going to call it a night. Thanks so much for listening in. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and you know what we always say here: God bless you. God bless this great country of America, boys and girls.